Hello, this is Dr. Do again. This video is outside of medicine. Continue to read the Iliad by Homer. I'm going to continue to read. Look, the sharp stakes jutting right at the edge, and just beyond that the king's sturdy rampart. No room there for charioteers to dismount and fight it out. The streets too narrow, cramped. We'll take a mauling there, I see it all. If mighty Zeus, thundering up on high, is bent on wiping out the Argives, down to the last man, if he longs to back our Trojan forces to the hilt, by heaven, I hope the Father works his will at once, and Argive died there. Their memory blotted out, a world away from Argos. But that if they round on us, what if they round on us? If the Argive roll us back away from the ships, trapped and tangled there in a yawning trench. No runners, I tell you, passed by an Argive rally, could struggle free and bear the news to Troy. So come, do as I say, and let us all unite. Drivers, rein your horses hard by the trench, the men themselves, armed for assault on foot. We all follow Hector, all in the mass attack. And the Argives? They cannot hold their line, not if the ropes of death are knotted round their necks. So Polydamas urged his plan, won Hector over. Less danger, more success, and down he leaped from his chariot, fully armed, and hit the ground. Nor did the other chariot drivers hold formation. All dismounted. Seeing shining Hector leap to earth, each man shouted out commands to his driver quickly. Rein the team by the trench. Good battle order now. And the fighters split apart and then closed the ranks, marshaled in 5 battalions, captains leading each. The men who trooped with Hector and Prince Polydamas. They were the greatest force, the best and the bravest. Grim set above all the rest to breach the wall and to go for the beaked ships and fight it out. Cebrins followed close, third in command, since Hector left another to rein his team. A driver less than Cebrins, less a fighter. The second Trojan battalion Paris led in arms, with Alcathous and Argina. Helenus led the third, with Deiphobus striding on like a god beside him. 2 sons of Priam, Captain Asius third in command. Asius, son of Hyrtacus, hawking fiery stallions, bore him in from Arispe, from the Salus river. The 4th battalion marched with gallant Aeneas, Anchises' offspring, flanked by Antenor's 2 sons, Acamas and Archilochus, drilled for every foray. Sarpedon marshalled the famous allies, placing Glaucus next in command with the combat veteran Asteropagus, head and shoulders the best man. Sarpedon thought, after himself, of course, but outshone the rest. Now, shield against oxide shield, wedging tight. With a wild rush they charged the Argive head on. Never think the Argive line could still hold out. They'd all be hurled back on their blackened down house. So all the Trojans and famous friend in arms embraced Polydamas' plan. The faultless chieftain, but Asius, captain of armies. Hyrtacus' son refused to leave his horses there with the driver rowing back, and on he drove at the fast trim ships, chariot and all, the 4, vaulting along the house with team and car, but never destined to slip past the deadly spirits, never to ride in glory home to windswept Troy. Long before his accursed doom black him out with Idomeneus' spear, Deucalion's noble son. Now, left of the ships he sped where Ajib rugs would head home from the plain with teams and cars. Here Asius flogged his team and chariot hard, nor did he find the gates shut. The boats shot home, not yet. The men still held them wide, hoping to save some comrade fleeing the onset. Racing for the ships, straight at the gates he lashed his team. Hell-bent, his troops crowding behind him, shouting war cries, never thinking the Ajib line could still hold out. They'd all be hurled back on their blackened hulls. Idiots! There in the gates they found 2 men, a breeze of 2 great fighters, lion-hearted sons of Lepis, spearmen, one Pirithous' offspring, rugged Polypoetes, the other Leontius, a match for murderous Ares, both warriors planted there before the towering gates. Rose like oaks that rear their crest on a mountain ridge, standing up to the gales, the driving rains. Day in, day out, their giant roots branching, graping deep in the earth. So these 2, trusting all to their arms, their power stood up to Asius' headlong charge and never struck. On the Trojans came, straight for the rock-tied wall, raising rawhide shields and yielding their long out, grouped under Captain Asius, Laminus and Orestes, and Asius' own son Adamas, Thon and Onemus. The Lepis had just been rousing Ajib packed behind the rampart, closing in a ring, defend the ships, but soon as the Lepis saw the Trojans storm the wall, and the cries broke from the Ajibs lost in sudden panic, then the 2 burst forth to fight before the gates. Like wild bulls, a pair of them up on the hilltops, bracing to take some breakneck rout of men and dogs, and the 2 go slanting in on the charge, shattering timber round about them, shearing off the trunks at the roots, and a grinding, screeching clatter of tusks goes up till a hunter spears them, tears their lives out, so the clatter screeched from the gleaming bronze that casted their chests as blows piled on blows, deadly going, fighting now for all they were worth, staking all on their own strength and friends overhead as they ripped off rocks from the rampart's sturdy ledge and hurled them down, defending themselves, their shelters, their fast ships. The rocks pelted the ground like snow that a sudden squall in fury, driving the dark clouds, heaps thick and fast on the earth that feeds us all. I'm going to stop here today and continue next time. Thank you for watching.